Guys, I love my car insurance.
State Farm? What's so great about it?
Well, they save me a ton of money on my car insurance, and they grant me whatever I wish for. Like that crazy cousin you owe money to, State Farm's right behind you.
Hey Brian, what's up?
Hey Joe, just want to show my friends here while I switch to State Farm. Hook me up with a cheese sandwich.
Whoa! Whoa!
And it's on wheat bread, because I know you could stand to lose a few pounds.
Guys, try him out.
All right, State Farm, give me Nancy Hasselback, my high school crush.
Bam!
Oh.
Baby, sup?
What the? Where am I? I was bathing my 2-year-old son. Oh my God! He's gonna drown!
This is great. I gotta try State Farm. I'd really like to see my beloved deceased grandmother.
No, 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 no!
Nancy, wait! Damn it, Tom! Once again, your dead grandmother keeps me from getting laid.
Damn it, Brian! How many times do I have to tell you? When you're pitching the company to your friends, no wishing dead relatives back from the grave.
Joe, I knew I forgot something. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, this is like the third time this month this has happened, okay? And you know what? Looks like your monthly premium just went up. So how about that? That happened. Ugh, this is so much paperwork I have to do now. You have no idea. Brian, don't call me anymore unless you have to make a claim.
Great policy, huh?
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with Geico.
Yeah, me too.
Greetings and salutations. It is I, Father Time, the keeper of the eternal flame of truth, which is the light of the world, which burns brightly with the wisdom of all the ages. And Don, this special shout out that you have in mind is a message that we all need to hear and be reminded of from time to time. That laughter is indeed the best medicine. When you get those endorphins going, it can heal. And I want to encourage everyone right now to support comedy and comedians, and let's all laugh together.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up right here on GOVSradio.com, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Boxcast. And like my good friend Ken Pichello always says, we on TV. And yes, indeed, we are, folks. I'm your host, Don Sill. We got another fun show in store for you today. But without further ado, let me bring in my good buddy, Benny Gagoots Rizzuti. Benny, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing good. Howdy, buddy.
How's it going?
How
man?
are you?
Doing good. I'm just getting over the hump now. I think I had COVID. I'm not 100% sure. I think I did, because Wendy, my fiance, tested positive for COVID, and she's been bedridden for the last 2 weeks off and on. And I didn't take the test right away, but I had a cough and I was a little sluggish and not feeling 100%. I lost my scent and taste.
Oh, you did? Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy, but I feel okay. Like I'm not. I wasn't completely bedridden. I just feel like I have a cold, and I had a cough, and I didn't feel 100%. But I feel like I'm getting over the hump now. But I tested negative.
Good.
So
you tested negative, but you had the So either you had like sympathy symptoms, maybe you had sympathy symptoms. You know, like if somebody hurts their back and all of a sudden your back hurt. You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I love Wendy, and I
Yeah,
really
no, it's
hope
true.
she
Like when
gets better. But
like
maybe you got sympathy because if you have trouble with your taste and smell, I want you to come hang out in this alley over here where I am, and we'll
it
find out
does
if you can.
it does come in handy not having smell, but it is kind of weird. Like if I'm like, leaving the bathroom or something, I have no idea what I left behind.
Do not go in there. Woo!
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that either.
Yeah.
Just bring a canary in with you. You know, like they used to bring a canary in a coal mine.
Yeah, in
right?
case it dies.
Yeah, bring a canary. If the canary dies, you know you really stunk up the joint.
But yeah, it could be sympathy. It could be because when like if someone all of a sudden, like when you're a kid, somebody has lice and all of a sudden your head starts itching, or you kind of get. But I mean to lose taste and smell is crazy. It's a very weird thing because like I could still obviously textures, and I could still tell if something's sweet or sour, like it still triggers, but there's no flavors. So it's very strange, very strange. Yeah, it's been about a little over a week now, but I feel like I'm finally getting.
I hope you're okay. I hope it's very scary, right? It's still scary.
It's scary. I actually today's the first day in a while that I actually start to feel like myself again, which is good. I was just kind of in a funk. So this is good. It's good to be able to talk to you, even though you're in the alley. And you're in like Chinatown. It's like a Chinatown alley. You're pretty brave. Pretty brave.
They love me. I thought all nationalities love me.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, the big GOVS, man.
So Benny, I don't know if you've been on Facebook the last week or so, but it looks like good old Bernie Sanders, who, whether you agree with his politics or not, you can't help but love the guy, and he was able to overshadow not only J-Lo and Lady Gaga and Bruce Springsteen and that poet and all these other people, but he also was able to overshadow Joe Biden on his own inauguration and Vice President Harris on their own inauguration with a pair of mittens. A pair of mittens
all bundled up, sitting in a chair with his arms like this. And I'll tell you, I have had so much fun that the people who say, "Oh, stop with it, go away. We're having fun." And even so many people, it was good to laugh on Facebook.
It was good to laugh.
Good, and I don't know where else he would, but
and both sides. Great. Yeah, everybody was laughing together.
We were all laughing together. We were having a good time. I was having a lot of fun because I even I put one up, like I've been putting them up. And, I've been finding them and then I put one up and I said, okay, I promise this is my last Bernie meme. And then I wrote under it, "Oh, who the fuck am I kidding?"
Because what's great is that everyone does laugh together. And it was non-biased laughter. We weren't laughing at the other side, no. and it was a fun thing to do. And everyone was so creative with these that they just kept getting funnier and funnier and funnier. And like you said, you posted a lot of them.
And there was no malice. It wasn't malicious against Bernie. And actually, one of my cousins is on Facebook, and she's very good at knitting. She learned how to knit from my grandmother and her mom, my aunt, used to knit all the time. She's knitting those dolls, and you can order them.
Wow.
She's knitting those little Bernie dolls with the mittens and everything. Yeah.
Wow. I want one. We gotta let me know where. Yeah.
I'll send you the link, or I'll send you her name and everything. But yeah, she's knitting them and selling them. And here's something else to mention. Bernie was such a great sport about it that he took that picture of him in a chair, put it on a sweatshirt, sold the sweatshirts for $45 each, and donated all the money to Meals on Wheels in Vermont, his hometown.
That's a great thing
Now,
to do. Yeah.
now that is cool.
That makes me
See,
like Bernie a little bit more now, even more. The Bernie meme, huge hit. Everyone had a lot of fun with it. And like you said, they get more and more creative. But
yeah.
what do you think when it comes to memes, especially these kind of memes that explode like this, that become a kind of a phenomenon? What would you say is the shelf life on something like that? Is it a week, 2 weeks? Is it dying down now, or do you think they still have room? Because remember the one with the lady screaming at the cat?
Yeah. That lasted.
That still kind of goes. And so, what's the shelf life on the Bernie, do you think?
Well, I think it's gonna burn out because Bernie's burning out. It's gonna burn out because people are like, they're gonna be, by this coming weekend, they're gonna be enough with the Bernie, and they're gonna be bored and crazy. But then I think they're gonna be around for a while because they're gonna pop up, because some really good memes pop up every once in a while.
Right.
I save them and I pop, and they pop up.
I think it'll be a good callback, like in a
Yeah.
couple of months. I think definitely when they wrap the 2021 year up, like next year, we'll definitely see the Bernie meme again. Like to remember this year, and to
Yeah.
remember the inauguration. It's forever seared in history for that inauguration, forever. It was just,
It's
crazy.
great. No, yeah, and it was nice to get, like you said, to get the entire country to laugh.
To laugh together. It was a unified, fun.
It just felt good to laugh.
It did. It felt great.
There was some people. Some of my friends were like, "Benny, enough," and I'm like, "No, I can't stop." And then they're like, "You're a brat," and they turned out they loved it. And it was something. It's like the type of thing where you tell people, stop doing it, and then you're doing it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
That's what was happening. Then you're doing it, and then you're like, all right, I'm bored. And then somebody else does, and then you're back doing it. And that's
Right.
what, but I think it'll last about a week, and then it'll pop up just like the fly on Mike Pence's head.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
Bernie's on his head.
Yeah, last week I don't know if you saw it or not, but I did run a video with Feel the Burn, and I showed a montage of a lot of those. So I'll show it a little bit again right now. Here it is.
Feel the burn, make 'em feel the burn, all the way to the White House. Feel the burn, make 'em feel the burn, till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make 'em feel the burn, all the way to the White House. Feel the burn.
Well, thank you, young birds. Love you too.
Hold the phone, stop the presses. I have a very important announcement to make. Don Sills Show. Put up, shut up, and stand up on GOVS Radio. Maybe the best thing to prevent COVID since the N95 mask. Other things it's better than sliced bread. The clapper. Actual sex. And that's saying a lot. Listen to it, or be burned at the stake! I'm only kidding. Or am I?
Question. They tell everyone stay inside. They go, everyone, the pandemic, stay healthy, right? Then they close the gyms, but keep the dispensaries and liquor stores open. It's like saying, here's your life coach, Charlie Sheen.
All right, everybody. Our next guest is a hilarious guy who has been in the comedy game for a long time and has been on everything. He was the finalist on season 6 of Last Comic Standing. He was on The Tonight Show. He was on Chelsea Lately, MTV, VH1, True TV, CBS, Comedy Central, and now he could finally add GOVS Radio to his resume. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Hunter. Adam, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just hanging in there. I mean, it's like, but things are good. Actually, it's been a good, last couple of days have been really good, so.
Well, that's awesome, man. What's going on that's been really good, dude?
I got booked for a music video I shot yesterday, which is fun with, I think Dr. Dre's going to be in it.
Nice.
Cameo tomorrow. And then I got an hour comedy special I'm shooting in November 4th in Las Vegas, so I'm like getting ready for that. And then a movie audition came in today, so it's been a good
wow.
One of those things. And they've been coming in people that knew me. It's different than when your agent gets you an audition versus people that so
yeah, man. That's great, dude. It seems like yesterday when the first time I ever saw you, like a lot of people probably, was on MTV, that True Life thing.
Yeah.
And it was a long time ago. I don't even know how long ago that was, but I remember this True Life thing, and I was also an aspiring comedian, and watching you kind of go through the trials and tribulations and trying to get past over there at the comic strip. It was good times, man.
Sarah, you want to dance? Right now I'm not a professional comedian. I think I'm a professional comedian, but none of the clubs do. I'm not paying myself, so.
I don't know how good of times that was. It was definitely there were definitely times. I mean, I started in New York City and do comedy in New York, and I think at that time I was a year into it, or like even less than that. And they called me up and said, "You want to be on this MTV show?" And I was like, "Sure." I didn't even know what it was, and I knew I wasn't going to pass at the comic strip because they failed me the week before.
Your opener was really good because it captures you in a nice way. But Adam, I still am having problems with your set building from start to finish.
And they were just doing it again for the thing, and then my dad told me, he's like, "Get ready to fail." I'm like, "Thanks, Dad, for the vote of confidence."
I don't mind when he talks about me on stage. It's it used to bother me a little bit when he used to point me out.
But it was cool. I mean, at that time I dropped out of college to become a full-time comic, and I was giving out flyers.
Yeah, man.
I think Gladys's for 3-4 years in Times Square before I opened up my own club with Dave Rubin and Joe Franklin's, and those were some of the best and funniest, but also the hardest. Giving out flyers in the freezing cold, convincing tourists to come see you, lying to them, telling them that there was going to be Chris Rock or comics that weren't there.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld stops in all the time.
that was. And then the people were like, "Wait, that's the guy that gave me the flyer." Those were some brutal days.
I haven't seen my mom in 15 years. I don't know where she is. That was tough. First my mom left. Then Luke Perry left Beverly Hills, 90210.
But I mean, they definitely earn your stripes, earn your keeps, and also it definitely hardens you and makes you really think about whether or not you want to do this or not.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it to just like anything. You gotta really love it to go all in. To quit college for it, you gotta really love it, man. Are you a Long Island guy? Are you from Long Island?
Yeah, I'm from Oceanside, Long Island.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah.
Well, where are you from?
I grew up in Brentwood, the luxurious, beautiful town of Brentwood, and now I'm out here in Manorville, all the way out east.
You went EPMD, right?
Yeah, EPMD. There you go. I grew up. They were in my high school.
Listen when I tell you, boy, you got to shit.
Wow. Yeah, they were a good rap group.
Yeah, man. EPMD, and I also used to work at Toys R Us with Craig Mack, the late great Craig Mack, Flavor in Your Ear. Yeah.
I'm kicking new flavor in your ear.
So we used to actually rap battle, and he would always.
No way, really?
Yeah, we used to. It wasn't like a hardcore rap battles today. It was more like he would just mess around and basically make fun of me, and then I would have to respond the best I could.
You got long tongues on your shoes. You ain't got nothing to lose. I like to get in my car and cruise. Sometimes when my alarm goes off early, I hit the snooze.
But it was fun. It was great. It was great. And that was about 2 years before he blew up with Flavor in Your Ear.
Yeah, that sounds kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, man. It was good times indeed, man. But yeah, I knew you were a Long Island dude, and that's cool. And you ever play Governors? You ever do the club here? Any of the local Long Island scene?
When I first started, I did the new talent night over at Governors. I think Tom Ignio was booking it. I'm not sure if he's still booking it. But that was the last time I did it. I think I bombed so bad. I was 6 months in. I thought I was the funniest comic ever, and it did not go well. People just stared at me, and I was like, "Whoa, this didn't go very well." But I think that was the first and last time I worked Governors.
Where you going? I'm vanilla pudding. Don't leave.
What's cool about your career too is that a lot of it's all on record, like you said, like from the True Life, you're only about a year in. There you are, this young kind of green comedian working, the laundromats, and then it shows you're progressing all the way to now. You got an
national television debut. Please welcome the very funny Adam Hunter.
Adam Hunter, come on, y'all.
Please make some noise for Adam Hunter.
Give it up for my man, Adam Hunter.
Very funny comedian Adam Hunter.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This guy, you may have seen him on The Tonight Show. He has the dubious distinction. I think it's a great credit. He was the last proper stand-up set ever performed on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome Mr. Adam Hunter?
Sometimes I have to look back when I'm not feeling like very like gracious or blessed, and like, and then like I remember I had like a billboard in Las Vegas. It was a billboard in Las Vegas.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Man.
I mean, I was like, back when I was started out, I didn't think I was gonna have a billboard in Las Vegas. So if you would have told me like, hey, if you stick with this in 20 years, you'll have a billboard in Las Vegas or you'll be on Jay Leno, I would have been like, yeah, that's awesome.
All right, and my next guest, a very talented comedian from New York City, making his very first appearance on The Tonight Show. Please welcome Adam Hunter. Adam!
Sometimes, I think people get in the habits of looking at other people and, measuring their success versus their, and it's not really fun but it happens at every level, man. I mean, I opened up for, some of the biggest comics in the world. I mean, guys that sold out, guys like Russell Peters, and even they're doing that, so it's not like it ever stops.
Right, yeah,
but you have to somehow find some zen and not look at other people's success compared to your success. It's hard not to do that. And it used to be hard doing the road. I'd be in, I don't know, Des Moines, Iowa, or, Columbia, Missouri, just some place. And I feel like I had the best set, and I sold 10 CDs, 20 CDs. And I felt like I was the greatest comic in the world. And you get that high, that super high. And then you go back to your hotel, and it's like the Holiday Inn Express or the Super 8 or whatever, and you're sitting there, and then you go on Facebook, and people are like, "Hey, I just booked the Tonight Show, or I just did this, or I did my hour special," or and you just start feeling bad about your life, and then you put on TV, and you see 6 comics that you saw the commercial you auditioned for or didn't get, and you see this comic has a show on Fox, and then before you know it, you're depressed again. And it's really important to not do that.
This is getting fucking awkward. Am I talking shit? I'm the comic. That's kind of what I get paid to do. I don't come to the gas station like, you pumping gas?
So, and I agree. I always try to only focus on where I'm at, because it's really easy to get caught up in the Joneses or what others are doing, especially in people in your field. But do you think that kind of that there is a positive to it, where it helps drive you, where you're like, oh, this dude who I came up with is now starring in a movie, man, I'm going to try to work even harder? Or could it be
I think as long as it goes back to I'm going to work harder, I think as long as it goes back to, yeah, I'm going to write the next best joke, or I'm going to work on my act. I think a lot of times people complain, but they don't actually it doesn't go back to work.
Right.
Goes back to complaining. I think that's the most important thing, as long as I'm creating new jokes and writing new jokes and working on new jokes, I'm happy. It's when I'm not doing that is when I start to get kind of depressed and stuff. And this pandemic's been hard because it basically took away stand-up comedy. I mean, I still do Zoom shows, and I'm doing comedy in the park, and I do this show or that show, but it took away that thing it took away my drug, right. And that drug is the laughter to me. I did a couple shows recently, and I never felt happier to be on stage. I've never felt more appreciative of wow, this is what I was born to do. This is what I want to do.
The election's coming up. I like Bernie Sanders, but he wants to make college free, and that's going to ruin strip clubs.
And also the crowds are sometimes you walk a couple people or people hate you, and that wasn't the situation at all. They were actually happy to be out there too, listening to jokes. So.
Right, man.
I love this job. I got fired from my last job. I was a Catholic school teacher, and I got fired because I'm Jewish and I was only teaching part 1.
Yeah, because everybody realizes what we've lost. You know, the audience and the performers, and like you said, that you have a whole new, you know, you're more thankful for it, a whole new appreciation for it.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is hard because they got to space the crowds out. So a lot of times, like, you know, you would tell people don't sit people in the back if it's not a full room. You know,
right? Yeah,
close together. But now all of a sudden you can't be together. Literally, you're not allowed to put people together.
Right.
So it's like every table is like their own audience in some ways.
Right,
you know?
right.
Like you really see, like, oh, I'm killing that table and that table, but that table hates me. So that's like another thing to kind of another obstacle that the comedians have to get used to. But whatever.
Right.
Nothing's ever perfect.
Some very beautiful ladies here. I love Asian women. I do. That's why I hang out at traffic school.
Yeah. Hey, Alicia, your clubs are still open. We're shut down here in New York.
Oh, we're shut down in LA.
Oh, the clubs are shut down there too.
Yeah, I was in Minnesota and Arizona doing like week-longs.
Right.
Yeah, no, that I'm doing comedy in like the park outside tomorrow. Just like, ugh.
Well, I tell you, I saw you on one of the Zoom shows recently. Steve Marshall was on the bill. I forget who else, and you killed, dude. I was like, I was like, wow, this. You know, I've seen a lot of Zoom acts, and everyone does well, and I always appreciate the efforts, but very rarely, you know. Again, I only watch so many Zooms in a day, but. You killed on it. I was actually like belly laughing at some of the stuff.
We have a girl. Initially, I wanted a boy because I want to teach him how to fight. So hopefully when she grows up, she'll be a lesbian. Lesbians make the best fighters because they make the tightest fists. Just so you know.
Oh, God. Yes.
Well, first of all, everyone does not do well. You're being nice. I think that people, I think that comics don't take Zoom shows seriously. I think that they think it's just like a way for them to just, it's like a therapy session or something. And I think that, like, you know, also you're home. It's sort of like, it always bothered me with comedians when they saw like like an empty crowd, like 10, 12 people, and they sat down on the stool and opened up their notebook and they used it as like, especially people paid. You know, it's one thing if it really was an open mic or something and whatever, or it's like a late spot and people know that they come to a club at 2:00 in the morning, so they're going to see.
Right.
But I'm always like, man, why are you taking out your frustration on the people that showed up? Like they came.
Right.
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Why are we not giving them a show? Like, why would you not treat them the same as you would if there was 1,000 people? Like, that always sort of, I never understood that. And same thing with Zoom. I'm always like, okay, you really stand out if you have jokes. I mean, granted, jokes don't always work, but at the same time, it's like, also you could have your jokes next to you on the screen.
Right.
It's not
Right. Yeah.
It's actually the easiest way to work on new material because you can just look at them.
The baby was actually 3 weeks late. So I was worried the father might be black. And
but some comics, like I book a Zoom show, and there are comics I won't have back because I'm like, it's obviously this person put no effort into this and doesn't care if anyone laughs or even is enjoying themselves. I don't even know why this person's even doing this.
And they don't realize too that sometimes on Zoom it is, you know, like if you're watching the numbers of that, like let's say the numbers are on Zoom aren't great, like you got like 25 people watching or something.
Yeah.
But you still, what they don't understand is that those can still get shared and seen down the road at other times. If someone gets,
who those people are. I mean, those people, you have no idea who those people are.
Right, exactly. You don't know who they are either.
I mean, I so many times I've seen people like, yeah, there were 6 people in the crowd, but one of them was casting a movie.
Right.
And then they put you in that movie, especially in LA or New York.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm not gonna like battle comedians. The problem is that I think comics see amazing comics do it and do it like a guy like Patrice or Bill Burr or Chappelle, or, you know, he'll sit on the stool, smoke a cigarette, look, and they'll be like, oh, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. I'm like, no.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah.
It's different. Just because Roy Jones Jr. can put his hands behind his back in a fight and not get knocked out doesn't mean that you can do that.
Right. Exactly.
Whatever. Shane Mosley learned that last Saturday night.
Yeah, they are. Is a elite breed in every field you go into, and there's always. It always seems like there's up and comers that think that they could reach that elite status right out of the gates, and it's not so, by any means. But yeah, like you said, I do agree totally with you about always giving your best show, regardless of the size of the audience, regardless if it's Zoom or if it's in front of a small crowd or a huge crowd. You always got to treat it as if it's the biggest crowd there is, and give the best.
Yeah.
And I think your kind of work ethic, does that come from your wrestling background? You know, you were like a pretty elite wrestler, right?
Yeah, I won the New England 4 times in high school, you know, every year. And then I got a scholarship to Hofstra. I didn't take it. I ended up going to Binghamton, wrestled for a little bit, and then just sort of kind of I was losing too much weight, and I wasn't enjoying it, and I was kind of got depressed. That's a whole other chapter. But yeah, I mean, in wrestling, it's just like there was no excuse to not try your hardest. And that was the only way you got any better. And I think with comedy, it's the same way. I mean, I started comedy, and there were like, I don't know, so many comics out there, and I wasn't the best comic. I wasn't even close to the best comic, but I was the one who stuck with it.
Adam Hunter!
A lot of times talent is like the thing that's going to fuck you up the most, is that, especially natural talent, because people don't think that they have to work as hard, or they get lazy, or they don't actually, you know, write new stuff and stuff like that. So, you know, you have to, you gotta work hard, you know?
Exactly,
So.
man. And you know, that's how I look at it too. I think a lot of times, if you look at somebody who's got natural talent and you're like, man, if that guy only had the work ethic to go with it, he'd be like, you know, Hall of Famer. You know what I mean?
You've done everything you came here to do?
Not yet.
Then do it, boy. You've got 27 seconds left. You're down 4 points. Forget your nose. Forget about everything. You've got to go out there and stick him.
But I do know that you're a big wrestling guy, and you remember the movie Vision Quest, right?
Of course.
Vision Quest, for those younger people not watching, was a great movie that came out like in the mid 80s, and it was about a wrestler, and the whole movie was about wrestling. And I was a wrestler at the time too in Brentwood High School. My weight class, I believe I was 160, which is pretty heavy for a kid.
That's tough.
Yeah, it was a tough weight class, but that movie inspired me, man. I wanted to be Loudon Swain so bad.
That movie got like, it was like actually like a great movie, and then there were some weird parts to it, like the part where like he got like molested.
Now step back to the left, move your arms. Step back to the left, stack your arms the other way, step out.
I think I got it now.
Like for
in the hotel, yeah.
It was like a normal movie, and then all of a sudden he like was helping a guy who like grabbed his cock, and then he like but it was like I'm like, why did that happen?
Yeah, there was never any rhyme or reason for that.
Maybe they just thought that like wrestling was gay because all the touching, so they had to show that he wasn't gay, but they couldn't do it in the wrestling. That was just strange.
Just leave the tray by the door when you're finished.
But there was like some weird, and like Madonna was in the movie.
Madonna's first movie. Like it was before Madonna really blew up.
Yeah.
Like Crazy for You, that was the song.
And the guy lied about being Indian. Like that was like also straight.
Come on, Cooch, man. You could be the first Indian president.
Sure, man, except for one thing, I ain't no fucking Indian. That's just shit I made up in my head.
He was like what's the name of that Congresswoman?
Oh, Pocahontas or whatever.
Like the original whatever her name is.
Like the Seminole, Navajo, Kickapoo, like those Indians, I'm an Indian too.
Yeah, he was doing was it race appropriation before it was fashionable, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But we do a thing called Zoom Theater, and I wanted to see if you wanted to do a scene from Vision Quest. A real quick. All right, awesome, man. So here we go, Zoom Theater.
You knew I was half Indian, huh?
Yeah, I figured it was something like that.
I figured you need big medicine to grab to shoot. So last night, smoked a pipe. I had a session with the Everywhere Spirit. That's where it was revealed to me what you're really doing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what am I doing?
You're on a vision quest, man. You're trying to find your place in the circle.
I just want to wrestle shoot, okay?
Oh. Okay.
And scene. Well done, Adam. That was great, man. Well, Adam Hunter, I appreciate you taking the time, my friend. Anything? Where can people find you, and what do you got coming up next?
Well, follow me on Instagram at Adam Comedian or AdamHunter.com or Twitter at Adam Comedian. I'm doing a Flappers live virtual show from a comedy club next Friday night. You could find it. I'll be posting links all over my social media starting tomorrow.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck with everything, dude. You rock. I really appreciate this, man. Like I said, Long Island guy, I've been following you since that MTV thing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Man.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Don.
Man. Appreciate you, brother.
Oh, hello, this is Chris Fairbanks from the wildly popular podcast Do You Need a Ride, with a very special announcement. This is good news. Don Sill Show, Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up, from the Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, New York. I believe I'm saying that right. It's a show that they do in an alley behind Comedy Club. Governor's Comedy Club, I believe, which is why it's GOVS radio show. Anyway, this just in, the show itself and the information it provides has proven to prevent COVID. The only thing people have been doing is wearing these N93 masks, which if you wear them too much, the virus can connect to that. The great thing about this show is through the airwaves, it will enter your ears and into your face, where the virus resides in the nasal passage. You see the ears are nearby, and the sound waves have known themselves to break. They know themselves that they will break up the virus and send it right out your nostrils. So you can infect other people, but it will relieve you of the virus. So it's great news. Be sure and spread the word. I don't know that any scientists have backed this up.
Well, hello everybody, Dr. Fedora back again. But I've been missing you something terrible. A lot of things have been going on lately in America. But you've had an election.
Every disagreement doesn't have to be a cause for total war.
But you've had things like the vaccine come about. I wonder who got that together for you. I won't say. And then you've had a thing called, there's so many new words I've been learning. You had a thing called an insurrection.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
Which I laughed every time I got to watch the news.
America! Land of the free, home of the brave!
Look at him, he looks like a weird Bonnie Rubble. I couldn't even explain what the guy looks like.
Yeah!
When so many things have gone on also. We have a new president. It's very weird. Once I'll be seeing him in the clinic soon. I hear that he's due.
You're gonna die in there! All of you! You are gonna die!
But anyway, listen, it's great to be back. Once I have so many things in store for you. You have no idea. Lots and lots. Don Sill. Once I've missed you so much. You sexy man, you. Once Benny Rizzuti, too. Great guy. Once I can't wait to go ahead and bring so many more things to you. I'll catch you soon.
Don't let insurrection dysfunction get in your way.
Senators will have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the erection.
Introducing Viagra Impeachment, America's most trusted ID treatment. Ask your doctor if impeachment is right for you. Side effects may include being banned from social media, presidency loss, and in some cases, even death. Seek immediate medical help for insurrections lasting more than 4 hours. Now's the time. Ask your senator if Viagra Impeachment is right for you.
Hi, this is Special Ed. Hey, Don and Betty. Yay! You're making the world a better place with your comedy, and everyone needs to check you guys out. Yay! Because Benny is old, and Don has messy hair. Yay! Hey, Benny, you're old. Do your balls hang really low? Yay! Benny's balls hang really low. Is your big boy hair gray now? Because you're old? Yay! Yay! That's great. And Don has messy hair. I got messy hair too, but you can't tell most of the time because I'm wearing a helmet. Yay! Yay! Special Ed wears a helmet. That's great. Well, check out Don and Betty and check their stuff out because they're funny. Yay! I gotta go poop. Bye now, lady.
So now, Benny, our next guest we have coming up is this comedian Doug Williams. He's been around for a long time, and he's had such an amazing career. And I have the full-length interview. You can find it on YouTube. But I just wanted to kind of show this one part, which is kind of the meat of the whole interview. It's basically when Doug Williams talks about the times when he was on an Emmett Smith roast back in 2003. And he was like really heckled by Jamie Foxx, and it was before Jamie Foxx won an Oscar. It was before Ray Charles and all that stuff. It was Jamie Foxx was just on the come up as far as a movie star, and he's already established comedian and established from In Living Color and all that, but he wasn't the Oscar winner. But in any case, he kind of demoralized this comedian on stage while he was trying to perform and deliver his roast, and he was heckled severely. So to me, I like talking to Doug because it shows how he overcame that and then kept on persevering and really had an amazing career. But yeah, I wanted to ask you, is there a difference between a roast when you're on the dais and you're having a roast versus heckle? What do you think?
You're talking to a guy who was your roast master on the game show, Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up.
You should be sued for plagiarizing Gene Shalit's face.
A roast is when you are up, when it's your time to be up, then you could say whatever you want about everybody. And you can say your little stuff. But if someone is talking while, and they're insulting you while you're trying to deliver that's a heckler to me. You're being heckled. You're not being roasted. You're not, if I say a few jokes and one of the people yells out one line to me, okay, that's all right. But if you're going to interrupt me constantly, you're heckling me, you're annoying. And it's just not a proper etiquette to do.
Yeah. So that's why I just wanted to, for our audience now, for the show, people watching the show tonight, I just wanted to show this portion of the interview. But I urge everybody to watch the full interview because it's like an hour long, but there's so much good stuff in there that I think it's really good stuff. So check that out. But right now, here he is, Doug Williams, talking about the infamous Emmett Smith roast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep this thing rolling. Another person that does not know anything about Emmett Smith and you don't know who the fuck he is, give it up for Doug Williams.
Now, that's what Jamie Foxx, and we'll get into that, how he didn't roast you, he heckled you. That's how I see it. I don't see that as, that's not roasting rules to me. Like, there's a way to, when you roast somebody, you're on the pulpit and you go, hey, Doug or whatever, and then you take a shot there. You don't heckle the man. That's like, that goes against so many taboos to me.
I want to say this to Emmett Smith, man.
I'm your conscience.
It is a pleasure.
Man, it sure did get hot in here. Am I fucking up right now? I'm your conscience. I really don't
need to be up here right now. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
These brothers start making money, you can't tell them shit. You know what's funny about that though, man? It's almost like the wolf killing the sheep and people coming down on the sheep. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're a sheep. You got, because at the time, you know, when you look at that panel, and I talked about this when I was on Vlad TV, and I talked about this. When you look at that roast, it was star-studded. It was Michael Irvin. It was Dick Gregory, whom I had a chance to work with when I had this show with Martin Lawrence.
Icon and legend.
It was it was Monique. It was what was the coach of the Cowboys? Jimmy
Johnson.
Jimmy
right?
Johnson. It was and I just recalled Stuart Scott, the late Stuart Scott.
Yes.
ESPN.
The
He was on there, and
Yeah.
man, you want to talk about another great guy. After that happened, he talked to me. He pepped me up. He was like, "Hey, Doug, man," he wouldn't let me hold my head down. But anyway, the crazy thing about the roast is that, you know, I didn't have a career. Nobody knew who I was. And I don't think, and I always say, I don't think Jamie did it. It wasn't a thing where he was just trying to, like, you know, hey, this is going to go viral, because at the time there was no YouTube, there was no social media.
Right,
So,
right.
But yeah, I got killed on social media by a lot of people as if I was like this juggernaut. I was this big guy who had gotten taken down. And that always baffled me, is that I was a nobody up there trying to make something happen, trying to just get something going in my career. And people look at it as almost as I was a villain in that. That's what's funny about that to me.
I wish I was in a movie with Jamie. Maybe
You're right
we could do
about that.
48 hours.
You are right about that.
72 hours.
In fact,
I don't know.
In fact, nigga, I need a co-signer. Can you co-sign on the car for me?
I just did another joke that didn't go over. I'm your conscience.
The first time I saw that, obviously through the years, and I never once laughed at you. You know what I'm saying? I never once said, "Oh man, Jamie's so fun." Every single time I ever watch it, from the very first time I ever watch it, and you know, who knows? Maybe Jamie Foxx will watch this and hate me or whatever. But I always thought that Jamie Foxx was the biggest asshole for that, because that's not the laws of comedy. You don't shit on your fellow comedian, heckle him like that, without, you know. And I think you mentioned this on Vlad too, without a redemption at the end. You know, hey, yeah. I'm just, you know.
Maybe I should say something nice about Emmett and wrap it up. Or maybe I should talk about how black people have to struggle. Yeah, that'll get them on my side.
You know, and for me, when I put myself in your shoes in that scenario, which, you know, we've all been in similar situations, but not to that degree, right? And then it goes viral years later, and then, like you said, every couple of years it goes viral. You got to relive this shit. Oh, but the thing is, for me, if it would be, the hardest part isn't so much what Jamie was doing, right? Jamie's just being an asshole. It's part of my language on these things. I try to keep it clean most of the time, but to me, the hardest part would be looking over and seeing Dick Gregory and you know, the Torrey brothers or whatever, all sitting there laughing, looking over, and there's Emmett, and he's, you know, everybody's trying. That to me would be the hardest to get past. How did you handle it?
I you know, it's funny because, like I said, for a long time it bothered me, and then, you know, through just nighttime conversations with my wife about it, and then once my kids saw it, and, you know, I really wish I had embraced it a lot earlier than I have, because, you know, when I look back on it now, it and this is my own, these are my own personal thoughts. I think that Jamie looks back on it in the same vein. I almost think he looks back on it now and say, you know what? Because I think when something is happening, you don't have time to access what's going on. You're just caught up in the moment. But I think because he's been, you know, really nice to me since then. After the roast, like I said, when this show was coming out, he would always make sure that I would come on and promote what I was doing. I've seen him a few times, always really friendly.
Right.
When he sees me or what have you. But, I think everything just kind of slowed down when it was happening. I didn't see them laughing. I just remember to this day, I did not want to be there, that I didn't want to do that roast. And whenever something happens to you and your first mind wasn't to do it, it echoes as it's going on. Like,
right.
You've done this.
Yeah, like your sixth sense was telling you, you were feeling the warning signs, you know?
Yeah.
Because like you said too, in I think it was the Vlad interview, that you may have felt a little bit like it was a setup. And I could see that in a way too, them saying, all right, you know what, this is our sacrificial lamb here. We're going to put him up there. This is where Jamie's going to do his thing and, or whatever.
I really do think it was. I really do think that it was that. And here again, that's after doing it. I just replayed everything that went along with that. I just remember, I distinctively remember wanting, because I didn't want to be there. And if, I spoke about this, I was doing it because my manager at the time, it was the first thing that they had gotten me, the management company. They thought it was a great opportunity. And I didn't want to say, no, I don't want to do that, with the first thing that they're giving you. So I really wanted to just get it out of the way. I remember when I got there saying, hey, I saw the lineup, I saw all these heavy hitters, and I just wanted, hey, you know what? Let me just go up, get it out of the way, and then I can sit back and then just enjoy the rest of the roast.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were like, yeah, no problem, man. I haven't seen a problem with that. And then all of a sudden, something when they come back to you and they're not smiling, they go, yeah. So yeah, you're gonna be going next to last. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, we gotta, work it out like this. So when that came, after I replayed all of them in my mind, and the fact that he wanted his microphone to stay on at all times, it seemed like a setup to me. Now I could be wrong. I'm just giving you how I felt and looking back on it and just surveying it. That's what I felt.
I agree. I think, for him to want the mic on the whole time was basically saying, I am going to heckle people at certain times. I want to be able to intervene, and all that. Because he did something similar to the Cowboys player, Darryl Johnson.
Yeah, you know what? And a lot of people don't know. Man, you must have really watched the whole thing. He was furious about that. In fact, he wanted to get violent about that. And he had to be talked to and told, hey, this is, don't do that. But he was really, really furious about that.
I'll let him go. I'm not a comedian. I'm not going to take shots. I'm just going to talk about Emmett. I'll talk to Jamie afterwards behind closed doors. We'll get this whole thing straightened out.
And I remember this, the reason he was furious, not so much that Jamie did that, because, he's a comedian, but to him, he wanted to give Emmett a send-off. It was that roast. Emmett was nearing the end of his career. So it was supposed to be a roast to celebrate his career. Now it turned into something else. So he was there to really to give some heartfelt, goodbyes and some stories. And he felt like it took away from that. So he was really, really upset.
If you see him with a star on his forehead later tonight, we got everything settled.
You just brought up something in talking about this that got lost in the shuffle. I'm just remembering that and talking about it. Every time I talk about this, something else. It's been buried in the back of my subconscious for so long. Your conscious. Yeah. It's been buried there for so long that every time I talk about it, something new comes to the forefront.
Yeah, because some memories you just want to forget them. Yeah. But yeah,
I do want people to know though. It doesn't bother me anymore. It's actually helping me now. It's actually, it has done some things for me now. It's almost. You remember? I don't know if you're a sports fan, but you remember that? I can't remember the pitcher's name, but he missed that ball that was coming to first base. Remember, it was in a World Series. He missed that ball. It rolled past him, and he got ostracized.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
they killed him for it. And I mean, this is almost reminds me of that. But then after a while, they started to recognize him for his accomplishments. And thank God, before he died, that city, they embraced him. They gave him so much love for all the things that he did do. And that's kind of what's happening with this roast now, you know, after all these years.
Exactly. And I think, you know, lesser men such as myself in that scenario would have packed it up and just, you know, I don't know what I would have done, to be honest. But you kept moving forward and persevered through it. How was that process to get over that, you know, in the first,
well, it's funny because that, you know, here's what people fail to realize. That came out in 2003, but we shot that before it came out. So I want to say we shot that in 2002, 2001. I think it debuted on the DVD in 2003. We had done it like a year before that.
Oh, wow.
And then, you know, like I said, they didn't have all of these social media platforms. So it just kind of disappeared, you know, so for like about until 2006, until it resurfaced, it never affected me. But then when it resurfaced, and keep in mind, the effects of that were felt from that whole YouTube. I mean, there's a whole new, you're a stand-up comedian, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Well, you know stand-up.
Yeah, I know stand-up.
You know, you have people that come to the club that see us, the normal, and then you have a whole new YouTube comedy generation that's out there that, you know, just want to see comedy on YouTube, and they love these famous YouTube comedians. And these are not necessarily comedy goers. You know, they like to click comedy. So that generation is the one, they saw it, and they're the ones that essentially tried to kill me and say I'm destroyed and, you know, I never worked. But they don't realize that I went on after that to create a show with Martin Lawrence called Martin Lawrence Presents the First Amendment that gave a platform to 100 or so comedians. Included in that was Dr. Ken. Dr. Ken it was probably his first television appearance. He did that show.
Wow.
Cheryl Underwood, Dion Cole, so many people did the show that I created with Martin, and people don't know about that. So, you know, I always tell people it never killed my career. It just it blew up to a generation who weren't familiar with me, who didn't check to see what else I was doing, and that's what happened.
Right on, man. Yeah, and you continue to do huge things. Like I said, your resume is so stacked. Like with that show, the one night stand show that you did with Martin Lawrence and all that, the Martin Lawrence show that you produced and hosted, and launched so many careers. You know, so talk about paying it forward, talking about going all the way back to, you know, Steve Harvey, what he's done for comedians and what, you know, Bernie Mac, it all comes full circle.
And I did all of that stuff after the roast. I taped the Bernie Mac show. All of that stuff I did after that roast. So, you know, unfortunately, the internet is full of negativity. You know, Mike Tyson said it. I read a quote from Mike Tyson. He's like, the internet has made it easy for people to talk, and I'm paraphrasing him, to talk about people because they don't have to face the people, you know?
Right, exactly.
It has made cowards brave because you can just get on and type all that stuff and you don't have to have any consequences of meeting the person or saying it to them and face them. So the internet is just brutally negative. They look for negative things because I've had a Comedy Central special, you know?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. But that roast, like I said,
that's
every
everywhere.
couple of years, it comes back around, which, by the way, I don't want people to know, it's working for me now.
Yeah,
so
and it's
please, keep spreading the roast, keep showing that roast, keep saying I'm dead, you know, because it's like blood. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You know, if and I'm just using a round number. If 20 people watch that roast, 5 or 6 people will go further to see what I do. I've done and follow me on social media and become fans of mine.
Exactly, man. Yeah, I think I think that you are taking this a negative becoming a positive, and like you said too, every couple of years a new batch of comedy enthusiasts discover this roast, and then ultimately they discover you, and then then they'll look into more of your career and see all the high points, and also that you're a guy that keeps it positive. You're above the fray, and I think and this proves that. Because there's a lot of things you could have done to retaliate. You could have backstage, you could have gotten violent like Daryl Johnson wanted to.
If you see him with a star on his forehead later tonight, you know we got everything settled.
But you did move past it far beyond that. You've done a lot of huge things.
And I always like to say, Don, this world has given people a skewed vision of what success is. And I always tell people, look, I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. Most of my friends are dead or selling drugs or working at some type of factory, which was almost a charted course for me. But here's success, Don. If you can find, and I always tell my kids this, something that you love to do, something that you would do for free, then you found true happiness. And how many times, as a comedian, when we were trying to get to this point, that we just go, people, they're doing it now. You do it for free. You do it for the love of it. And I think that's one of the things that has hurt me most about this pandemic is that I haven't been able to do stand-up. Look, I do what I love. And by the grace of God, I'm able to take care of my family, only doing what I love. You can't get more successful than that because trust me, I have met people in this business who have millions and millions of dollars who are miserable. Yeah. And to me, you can't put a price tag on happiness. So if you can do something that you're happy doing, that you would do for free and make a living at it, to me, that's the ultimate in success.
Well said, man. And it's truth all around. And yeah, man. That's what it's all about. That is the measure of success is happiness. It's not money. You can't put a price tag on that. And and doing what you love, that's sugar on top, man.
You know what? I don't mean to cut. You did a really good job with that background. I actually thought that was until you just kind of made a little thing. I thought that was your house, man. Man, that is a great background, dude.
This is Wayne's World. It's Wayne's World.
Dude, you have a lot more money in this production than you're leading on. You know what I'm saying? I came on here because they said this is a small time show and Don is trying to make this thing happen. You got a lot more money than you leading on, Don. This is big time, Don.
This is the set of Wayne's World. So I wanted to honor Wayne's World while we're in quarantine. We're all kind of doing it from our home.
That just goes to show you how into Wayne's World black people were. I would have never known it. I thought that was your place. I would have never. Now, if that was Sanford and Son, I would have been like, hey.
I should get the Sanford and Son set. That would be awesome. So before I let you go, I just want to see if you have a New Year's resolution, and then just tell everybody where they could find you and follow you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. So my website is really the link to everything. DougWilliams.net. I always say, not .com.net. You know what I'm saying? So DougWilliams.net, that will take you to all of my media sites. But just to give it to them on Instagram, I'm Mr. Douglas. My name is Douglas Williams. Mr. Douglas Williams. On Twitter, I'm Mr. Doug Williams. I'm really, my wife and I have a small production company, and we have a few things that we just finished that we're going to go out and try to shop. So, just trying to do things in front of the camera and behind the camera, and just trying to keep creating and inventing. And lastly, I just want to say this, Don. People like you doing things like this lead to the big thing, because everybody thinks you start out Conan O'Brien or you start out, Saturday Night Live or whatever. But I come from the world of just doing, things like your show and seeing people like you go on to do big things. So I just want to tell you to keep doing what you're doing. You took a chance. And for people that don't, just give them a quick behind the scenes, Don reached out to me And I know he probably thought I was being Hollywood because he emailed me directly and I was like, Don, can you talk to my management? Here again, Don, I just got with this management company. I'm trying to make sure that I found the problem. So I sent it to my management company and then there was a delay. I know he's like, oh man, this is Hollywood. But Don is perseverance. He stuck with it. He kept talking to my management company. But I told you, I said, hey, Don, I'm going to do it. Just go through my man. And here I am. So keep doing what you're doing, Don. Much success to you. Thank you for having me on the show, good buddy.
Mr. Doug Williams, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. You're an amazing guy and an inspiration, and I hope that bigger and better things happen for you. I hope these clubs start to open up again, and you're back at it. Wish you all the best in the new year, and God bless you, my friend.
Thank you so much, Don. Be safe, buddy.
Thanks, man. Doug Williams, everybody. Yes.
What's that I see on the TV? Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up is on the TV. Make sure you tune in and subscribe. Don and Benny, they're awesome.
Renee, girl, you're looking good on PUSUSU tonight. Renee, girl, you're looking good on the TV tonight. Renee, girl, you're looking good on PUSUSU tonight. Renee, girl, you're looking good on the TV tonight. Renee.
All right, Benny, that's the show for today, my friend. Another fun one in the books. I want to thank Doug Williams, thank Adam Hunter, and thank everybody for watching tonight. This has been a lot of fun. Benny, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, buddy. I'm staying in this alley. I'm hiding from people. I'm feeling good. I'm just hiding in the alley.
Yeah, you're hiding in the alley, Chinatown, or are you in Wuhan? You just got to be careful.
No, I'm in Chinatown, but the one thing is there's enough bacteria and enough germs in here that I'm trying to build an immunity.
Ah, there you go.
I'm building an immunity to whatever new. I mean, if you think about it, every week in 2021, something new happens. Think it, right? I won't bring up, but some event happened, another event, and then Bernie happened on a Wednesday.
That's
so
all
tonight,
Wednesdays. Yeah.
So tonight on our show, something's going to happen today, or right after the show, something's going to happen. It's every Wednesday in 2021.
Yeah, it's been Wacky Wednesdays in 2021.
Wacky Wednesday.
Yeah. Very good. Well, Benny, as always, I want everybody to please subscribe to our YouTube page at youtube.com/putupshutupstandup. There you can find all of our interviews and fun and sketches and discussions and Benny dancing the night away, and maybe even some Bernie memes. And we still have yet to come up with a contest idea, but I do want to give away some of our You're Awesome t-shirts.
Yes.
Yeah, and those have been making the rounds. We've been getting some shirts out there. So we also want to urge everybody to go to teespring.com, go to GOVS Radio, and then from there you can find all the swag from all the GOVS radio shows, and just check it out and enjoy it and buy it and wear it and take pictures of yourself and put it on our page, and we will show the world. But remember, everybody, to check us out every Wednesday night. Also, after us is Christy Miller. Christy Miller's coming up next, so stay tuned for her. But in the meantime, Ben,
and I'm not just saying that because she could kick my ass.
No, she rocks. She's hilarious.
She does. She rocks. She's very funny, a great lady. I love her.
We gotta get her back on our show again too. She's a lot of fun. But as always, my friend Benny, you're awesome, pal.
You're awesome, Don.
Oh, you're awesome, man.
You're super duper awesome.
No, you're extraordinarily awesome.
Wow. You're amazingly awesome.
You froze up right in the middle.
Awesome.
Oh, there you go. Very cool. Well, Benny, thanks again. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Stay tuned, and we will see you next time.
Everyone.
Peace, y'all.
Peace. Woo!